Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with lifeafterdeath.com. Lifeafterdeath.com is a community for people who have a fascination with the afterlife, near-death experience, reincarnation, and spirituality. And we'll be talking about topics that are related to this theme. We'll be talking to experts who have had direct experience of those sorts of realities. And we're looking to just have a conversation about these topics in an open way. Now, our website, lifeafterdeath.com, has many articles on themes that are related, and the topic I wanted to chat with you today about is about a quote by a person, a man, and how for me it just gives such a strong perspective on the positive side of death, if there is such a thing. Now, you may be reading the article here that I'm referring to, but basically there is an irony to the fact that this quote is from a man who spent his whole life creating life-affirming, positive things for other people. Yes, he was human. Yes, he was flawed, but he had a brilliant mind, and he started a phenomenon that we all are taking advantage of this day. And that man was Steve Jobs. Now, he was not only a technology visionary, but he also was, a very deep person with a lot of thoughts about his own mortality that he actually had to face quite young in his life. When he was in his 40s, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he spent a decade, trying very hard to live longer and live a healthier life and continue to run his business, Apple. And, that was, I'm sure, a very challenging time. But here he was, a billionaire, and fighting for his life. He was using traditional and non-traditional alternative medicines. I don't know the whole story of what he tried, but he did try everything. And at the end, I think a lot of reflection, and towards the end of his life, he said something that we mention in this article. You can read it in full. In fact, I will read it for you because it's powerful. It's powerful because it's true at its heart. But when you hear the words, it just sounds a little harsh and kind of a little bit fatalistic. But in it is a seed of beauty and honesty. And this is what he said. Steve Jobs said, "No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet death is the destination. Death is a destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is how it should be. Because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new, and that is powerful. It's life's greatest gift." And I guess we have to think about that. It gives me goosebumps to even think about it, but there's so much to kind of unpack from that, to take from that and go further. Of course he did not want to die. And yes, of course, he probably would have made amazing discoveries and inventions, and his creative spirit would have, driven him further and further. But does our mortality, does the fact that we're going to die make us appreciate life more? Does it make it more meaningful for us? And I think Steve Jobs would say yes, it does. Now, I'm sure when he was going through 10 years of struggle and treatments, he may not have felt that way. But at the end of the day, I think he would agree that death gives our lives meaning simply because we cannot live forever. We're motivated then to make the most of our lives, to do the best that we can to add and contribute to the world. And he did it, of course, with his technology and, with the way he ran his business. Now, we're not all going to make this enormous, significant contribution to the world. We're not all Steve Jobs, and we're not all going to, invent the iPhone and the iPad. We are doing what we do in our own world. And it seems like in many ways, he was just saying, I want to make this world a better place. I want to give back. I want to do my best. And with my background, with my experience, the way he was raised, yes, he had challenges. And, everyone can point at the flaws in his personality or the way he treated other people. We're not perfect. No, well, this is obvious. No one's perfect. We are perfectly imperfect. And of course, he wasn't ready to go at the end. I'm sure he fought it very hard. But I think leaving us that quote that, life is more meaningful if we actually have purpose and we are motivated to do our best, because it is the gift of life. It is our final gift that we will have to move on. Now, whether or not something happens when we get to that point, I don't know. And maybe that distinction, gave him peace in his last days. But this is what we're here to chat about on lifeafterdeath.com. We are looking to find some people like Steve Jobs who had a different way of looking at life after death. And it may not be the one that you want to hear. Maybe you have a stronger need for something more concrete, and we'll be talking a lot about that too. But I think I guess I just would like to ask you, and please leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a conversation. But what does Steve Jobs' quote about mortality and his own life mean to you? Do you think that what he said has any significance in your life? Does it give you a sense of peace to know that you're doing the best you can in your life, that you've done a lot for your family, your friends, your work, and that death is going to be something you accept? It'd be really interesting to know. I mean, life after death is a whole bigger concept than this, but I think his quote is quite thought-provoking. So I'd love to get your feedback on it. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here and for being part of this conversation. And we're going to be doing a lot more things like this to just stimulate our minds and get things moving and get us talking about this topic from end to end. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your support. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe there. It's lifeafterdeath.com on YouTube, and also our website, of course, lifeafterdeath.com. And we do have a Facebook page, so you can find us there too, Life After Death. Thanks again for being here, everyone. Have a fantastic day and live your life with joy and peace. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.